Hey all, Taves here, back playing some more Planet Zoo, and welcome back to Tiguidou Zoo. So this is going to be one of those kind of episodes that is filling in a whole bunch of details, hence the title. So there's a whole load of stuff that I've been doing, that I've done over several weeks now, that I've just been kind of filling in a whole bunch of little things that I'd missed and little areas of, that I'd kind of left little incomplete bits and pieces. So these were all, I think I said in the previous one, it was just like, I decided to sort of collect these up and make a single episode out of them. So quite a lot going on in this one, actually. Quite a few different pieces. This first bit that we're working on here is a part of the building that I had put. If you remember back from the Wolverines habitat, and the Wolverines had their little inside space, I'd sort of separated that building into two sections. And the intention was to always have this kind of little kind of keeper area, sort of veterinarian area. This is all slightly inspired by something I saw at London Zoo, where they had sort of kind of hatching areas and breeding areas all on show to the public. So I thought it'd be quite cool to do something like that in this tiny little space. We've got a little, I don't really show this particularly, but there's a little kind of incubator that I've created on one side. But this is all going to be a little bit like a kind of lab space. So it's supposed to be a sort of education thing. So it's supposed to be sort of like, if you're a kid outside, sort of sparking your interest to understand how the zoo is doing kind of breeding and things like that. So there's a little incubator off to one side that has a bunch of eggs in it, and I've optimistically left a little cage empty for maybe some birds. By the time I'm recording this, we have just had notice of the next a big bit of news coming for Planet Zoo. So there's a scheduled kind of frontier unlocked coming up just at the point I'm recording this, and I think lots of people speculating that this could be the update of the last DLC. So you might already know that at time of watching this. You all might already know that I'm completely wrong and there's no birds coming. But so I actually like quite a few little aviaries going on in this. So this is supposed to be kind of little lab area. These are supposed to be kind of little test tubes. I was actually kind of trying to work out how I'd make it look like there was test tubes with liquid in them. So it kind of ends up looking all right. They're different size test tubes. And then they've all got, as you see, a little different like kind of water line. And then that's one of the sort of lattice pieces, or a couple of the lattice pieces sunk down to look like it's a kind of a holder. And then they put these little kind of conical flasks in. They don't work quite as well because they're a bit shiny, that shape. That object I've used is a bit shiny, so it doesn't quite work so well, but it's okay. I think it sort of lands the point. And then I was like, well, what else do you need in a lab? I mean, this doesn't make any sense really, but in my brain it was what my brain was making at the time for what a laboratory might look like, and it's got to have a Bunsen burner, so this is what I'm making here. Just the candle pieces and some small pieces put together. It's all supposed to just be some nice detail and some little aesthetic, some stuff that lands the message of like science gets done in this room. And so in my brain, the last time I was doing science was probably at school when I was much younger, and there would have been Bunsen burners knocking around that had little tubes like this one that I'm creating that run off to a gas tap. This episode is one of those things that it's one of those things I'm not expecting to get lots of views out of this video, but these are all the little details that I absolutely love putting into the game. If you're someone that have watched me for a while, you know I obsess over the tiny little details. I'm not the best builder in the game, certainly, but I think I'm one of those people that's actually quite good at obsessing over the tiniest of details. It's somewhat to my detriment, I guess. It means I'm very slow at building. But this is starting to come together now, and there's like I've put a little kitchenette in there. I think I mentioned in the previous episode I have got to do a bit of a tour soon, so this is pretty much all you'll see in these. You're going to see a before and after at the end, and then eventually when we do a bit of a walking tour, you will see a lot of this stuff in detail. I'll probably do a proper like a tour video just by itself. So I'm working on a little aviary now. So like there's a few of these little aviaries pop up, and I've actually done it in a few places in Tiguidou. Is that lots of the little kind of gap, where there's kind of filling of gaps. They tend to be little cages like this, because obviously in real zoos you see lots of small animals that are little kind of rodents and marsupials and all kinds of little sort of really small kind of exhibit box animals, and that's actually one of those things. Is like, again, if there's DLC that comes out that delivers a change to the way that exhibit boxes happen, that would be amazing, and I'd be so well prepared for that. If they're not, I would probably just put sort of implied stuff off the workshop on this. This is the only actual habitat that features in this episode. So this is going to be, I think in the last one you saw me add this pond in. This is going to be a little. It's not really a habitat as such, but it's going to have swans in it basically. So it's not particularly a zoo habitat. Like, I'm not making any attempt to suggest that the swans can't just fly away, but it's supposed to be just an area that the swans come and hang out in. So yeah, it's supposed to be just like a little pond thing. So I'm making this little it's effectively a little duck house really, but we don't have ducks, so I'm making it for the swans, and it turns out pretty cute. Turns out little kind of little detail there, a little house for them to check out and live in, raised up off the water's edge. And then I think we do a fairly big jump in this particular bit. We've got some steps going up for them to come in. That water's obviously a little bit too clean and clear at the moment, because it's supposed to be natural water. It's not supposed to be like a pool that the zoo has put in. This is, in theory, this is supposed to have already been there. This is natural. And as I said, there is going to be a bit of a jump where it's suddenly like all the rock work and all of the look, there you go, all the detail that's a lot of the foliage and the rock work. I lost a bit of footage there basically. Some of this has actually been quite a hard episode to put together, because these are all bits of footage that have come in between episodes for quite a long time, and so actually going back and getting the footage all in order and making sure that I'm not revealing bits of future episodes in this, if it makes any sense, was a bit of a challenge. So you might occasionally in this episode spot things missing that are actually there. This is the first of a big. This is probably the first of a big custom cage set that ends up being sort of aviary use, and I end up building a kit for this. And as most times I've done in recordings before, you're getting like a really short version of how long this actually took me to work out and to figure out. So I created this little, you can see we're right over by Penguin Point here. There's always been this little space. You'll see in the before and after, there was a little really kind of not great aviary in there before, implied aviary in there before. And I decided I wanted to create this little custom set, fill in this space a bit better. So it's lots and lots of these little block pieces. As you can see, I'm adding this curve. Again, this was inspired by there's a few different zoos that have got these sorts of aviaries. I think it's quite common, this sort of curved top aviary. Again, it would work for small kind of animals like tree climbing animals. So yeah, loads of little experiments here. Like, obviously I can get the problem with using curves is then you don't have any pieces that really work for curves. So I have to fill this space in a little bit. I think this ends up working okay. I'm using lots of small pieces here just to kind of fill in this gap. And yeah, so I've got got a sort of single piece of this, and you'll see it comes together in a minute. I'm trying to make sure that I'm creating a kit from this, as you've seen me do before. So there we go. Look, I've created one single piece. I can now move that and use that to create a bunch more of it. And then I've got to create a corner piece. So just rotate that round, delete all the bits that I don't need at some point. There we go. Yeah, delete all the bits I don't need. And then again, I'm trying to make this, trying to minimize the amount of pieces as much as I can. There are obviously a lot of pieces in this anyway, and you'll see that I continue to use this kit to build a much bigger corner aviary as well, that kind of wraps around a section. So I've ended up using, I think for this one I've just used some of like Drax's birds. Quite a lot of birds on the workshop that are just, you know, absolute genius work by people like Drac, that they've made birds out of art shapes. And we did have those. I can't remember who the first one was, but actually one of my really early popular videos that I did on Planet Zoo back in the Tropical Dome. If you've been around for a long time, you'll remember that one. But back in the Tropical Dome, I'd built an implied aviary with some birds created out of art shapes, and it's mad to see like the difference between those original ones and what we're capable of doing now. Not only is people just got so much better and so much more creative at building with pieces in the game, but I think we've just probably got a lot more smaller pieces over the years. And so, yeah, it's just like what people are capable of doing now. Same with the things like the plushies. Like before we got the shop DLC or the shop bit in the free update, like people were making plushies, but now they are, able to do those sorts of tiny little details so much better. So this is starting to come together. I can't remember actually what birds and stuff I put in here. Again, you'll see all this on the tour in that episode. That tour episode probably won't be the next one. I have got another animal habitat to come in before that, and I'm kind of hoping, I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous episode, but I'm kind of hoping that I can get on board with some of the Planet Coaster stuff. And interestingly, I was thinking about this the other day. I think I said in that previous recording that my plan was to kind of finish Tiguidou by the time that Planet Coaster 2 comes out. And I don't know if I want to do that. And like a bit of me thinks I don't need to rush to finish this. I want to finish this when I want to finish it. I mean, that will depend on, I guess it will depend on you guys really. So like, let me know in the comments like how many people are going to be playing Planet Coaster, because a bit of me sort of thinks, I'm assuming a lot of people will play Planet Coaster who play Planet Zoo. Like we're playing, I guess there's a lot of people that are playing Planet Zoo because it's a Planet game and they're so good, and I imagine I will do the same. I definitely am really excited for lots of stuff for Planet Coaster, but I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm more of a zoo person than I am a sort of theme park type person. I'm probably more looking forward to the waterways and things. But there's so much more that I haven't done in Planet Zoo that I don't know if I need to stop or I need to just like let them both continue. Like I've always been pretty. This is supposed to be a little implied feeder, by the way. I've always been pretty good at making sure, I mean, objective, I suppose good is objective in this situation, but making sure that I'm playing the game in the way that I want to play it and I'm enjoying playing it. Obviously views and you guys being here and you guys enjoying the content is really important to me, but my channel is quite small. I'm not like, I don't have lots of time, so like anybody that watches, anybody that enjoys what I'm making is all just kind of a bonus really, and I'm pretty much just playing and making stuff scratch a creative itch that I don't really get to scratch at work and in life, and so I shouldn't necessarily chase the Yankee dollar to the next thing. All saying that, I definitely will play Planet Coaster. I am really excited to do that, but Tiguidou has been such a source of like creative outlet for me, and likewise Zimba to an extent, that I don't know if I just want to stop it. I think I don't want to just like rush to the end and get it done for the sake of it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in that. I mean, I'm really interested to see, of my particular audience, how many people will stop watching Planet Zoo videos really when Planet Coaster comes out. I'd like to think they won't, but we shall see. And I don't know whether that will be enough to stop me or not. I'll just carry on. I mean, maybe it's ambitious for me to think I will play both games, I don't know, but yeah, we shall see. Anyway, I've talked so much and off topic of all of these things, but here's another aviary for you. Here's a little round one, circular one, over by the bears. Yeah, that's one of those spots where actually, like, this footage doesn't really make sense, because if you look in the background, you can see the bear habitat isn't finished, and we have already finished that one. So that's one of those points at which is just this is recorded before the previous episode that you guys have seen, if that makes any sense. I know that I would do that quite often, and it's a bit weird when I do that, but it comes together. Here is the last bit. Yeah, so I've spared you the watching me make all of this one, but it's made using the same process, and it's made curving round a bend, that one. So actually really happy with the way this one came together. I will try and remember to put this up on the workshop. I have got loads of stuff to get up on the workshop. I will try and remember to do that. If there are particular things that you're seeing in here that I haven't uploaded to the workshop, I know I've got to do things like the build kits and all that sort of stuff. Then if there's something in particular that you see that you want me to upload, give me a nudge in the comments, because my memory is pretty terrible. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Here's a few like before and afters. I think these have really like changed the outlook and things. I will catch you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Toves, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.